Yo guys, welcome to EGTV. We're back again with another video. Today we're going to be previewing the Leicester game and talking about all the latest Arsenal transfer news, incomings, outgoings. There's a lot to talk about. Apparently bids are going in. Will Tielemans ever happen? And we're also going to be talking about a combined 11 between Leicester and Arsenal. I got a special guest today for you guys. But before we get that show started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's go, people. Yes, people. I got my boy Ant with me. Ant, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Enjoying the weather. Be absolutely roasting here.
There you go. This is our Leicester correspondent. We got a couple of Leicester correspondents. Big up, shout out Jack from Leicester Fan TV. He used to jump on a lot. And we also got Neil. But Jack, I didn't reach out to Jack yet. I think I'm gonna get him on next time. But of course, I reached out to Neil. Neil was saying Neil was supposed to come on also with you, but he wasn't able to do it because he's doing a show right now. But big up Neil also every single time. But yeah, and what's going on at Leicester, man? How you guys doing over there? I seen you guys drew your first game. Tielemans played well. You know, I'm keeping an eye on him because we're trying to get him over here at the Emirates. But yeah, you guys had a poor start to the season. What's going on?
The thing is, it's one of those. It's like I've said to this before we went live, but if you watch the first 60 minutes of the game, that was some of the best football we've played for ages, and we should have been 3-4-0 up. We hit the post twice, absolutely battered Brentford. But then for some reason, our elite manager in Brendan Rodgers, which I'm saying sarcastically if you can't tell, thought it would be a great idea to take off our player who was playing the best in terms of Dewsbury Hall, run in that midfield and bring on another striker when we were absolutely cruising. So it was baffling because we were controlling the midfield and Brentford couldn't get a foothold on in the game. Then we took off Dewsbury Hall for Daka. It's like, you know, one of those changes that would make sense if you were chasing the game and really like throwing everything at it. But it's like we were controlling the game. Brentford hadn't created one chance, like major chance up to that point. We take off our player who's having the best game, and just it felt like Brendan Rodgers trying to send a message to the board, but Brendan Rodgers, like, by doing that, has cost us 2 points, which towards the back end of the season, then that could be really costly.
You know what? I feel like that's what everyone says when they drop points. Yeah, when they're going through a tough patch, that it's a message to the board or something like that. But we got some questions already. We got some people saying the Emirates is going to be rocking. Yeah, this is going to be a different Emirates, my friend. The spirits are good. Everyone is happy. It's being renovated, so you might only have one screen to look at. And the away fans, if you're going to be sitting with the away crowd, you're not going to have a screen to actually look at because the screen is going to be behind you. So you won't be able to see replays or understand the time. So that's going to be difficult for the fans that are going to be there sitting in front of the only one screen that they have currently. But any Aouar news? What's going on with Aouar to Leicester?
Oh, yeah. So Forest have had a bid rejected for Aouar today, and we're heavily linked to him as well. So, yeah, so it's just one that with us, we've needed to move players on before we can start bidding for these players. The first of those players has moved on today in Hamza Chowdhury. So now you're probably going to start to see a lot more movement in terms of players coming in for Leicester. But Aouar is one of the ones that's quite apparently one of our priorities.
Okay. What's going on at Leicester? You got Schmeichel leaving, Fofana could be leaving, Tielemans or Maddison could be leaving. Like, is this a rebuild? What is happening at Leicester? Like, I kind of am confused why you guys are just gutting your whole team.
We're not at all. And it's what I compared it to on an Arsenal podcast the other day is, you know, after those first 3 games of the season for you guys, it felt like the media was just jumping on every little bit of negative news around you and like blowing it well out of proportion. That's exactly what they're doing with Leicester at the moment. James Maddison is using Newcastle, and this has been confirmed by very reliable Leicester sources such as Rob Dorset, Rob Tanner, all saying the same thing, that he's basically using Newcastle for a new contract and using it to leverage a better deal for himself. If Wesley Fofana is going to go, it will be for a world record transfer fee for a defender. And with Yeremy Tielemans, he's the only way he goes is if our price is met with him, and that's only because of the 1 year left on his contract. With Schmeichel, it's a bit of a different one because he's said for a while that, like, bear in mind, he'd been at Leicester for 12 years, 11, 12 years, there or thereabouts. And he said for a while he wanted a new challenge, but he just wanted to wait until the club were happy that they had a goalkeeper in place before he moved on. So it's just the timing of that's not ideal, but it's just like, you know it as better than anyone as an Arsenal fan. As soon as there's one negative, the media jump on it and just make it look like 10 times more than it actually is.
Okay, yeah, definitely. People in the comment section, big up to you. We got a resident Leicester fan in the house, George, saying, "Oh, Thomas said what?" She said, "No." What does that mean? I'm so confused.
Mate, take that off screen.
I'd rather Leicester be the best team in the land. Okay,
He's just putting Leicester chance in the chat.
Okay, some of the stuff I don't get. But yeah, the first question of the day, before we get into the lineups and everything else, we got to talk about combined 11s, my friend, because last time we did this, if you remember, there was a lot of Leicester players in this combined 11 with Arsenal, and I don't know how comfortable I felt about that, to be honest. So a year has passed. We have now figured out that Thomas Partey is clear of Tielemans, but we still would take Tielemans. It's a very interesting situation. And then you keep telling me Granit Xhaka and Tielemans should not be compared. You find it as an insult. But what would you say at this moment in time? Ward, Ramsdale? What are we saying? Ward or Ramsdale?
Ramsdale for sure. I've been a big fan of what Ramsdale's done at Arsenal, and this is part of the reason why I didn't want Leno at Leicester, because Leno's a good shot stopper. But if you're going to play the way that we're trying to play in terms of progressive football, you need a keeper that's good, like got an all-round game. And Ramsdale's distribution's brilliant. His commanding of his box is brilliant. So for me, Ramsdale, and hopefully we'll be sat here next year saying either Iverson or Ward. But like neither of them have been tested in the Premier League yet. So do you know what I mean? I can't just like. There's no way that I can say either of them.
Okay. Can we just go ahead and put the defenders in? I'm just going to say Saliba and Fofana. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm surprised you said Fofana. The amount of disrespect I've seen from him over the last few weeks is kind of mad.
No, he's really good. He's really good. Left back. I don't think you guys have a left back that's on the level of Zinchenko or Tierney. Do you agree?
James Justin's a very good left back. I think he's massively underrated. I'd say Tierney over him, but I still think that James Justin's a very capable left back. That like he's in the England squad. It's not like to get in the England squad as a Leicester player is a lot harder than to get in the England squad as like the traditional big six. So he's not exactly like a bad player at all.
Who's your right back? Because whoever it is, they probably get in.
I would say Ricardo Pereira, but he's got a 6-month injury, so you can't really say Ricardo Pereira.
People say I look like Ricardo Pereira.
Now you've said that, I can actually see it. I'll be honest.
I think it's the ears. So do you want to put Ricardo Pereira in there, or is there another player? Castagna?
You can say Castagna. Maybe. I don't know. It's one of those. Because your options aren't great either, are they?
Our options are Ben White, Cedric, and Tomiyasu. So I would put Tommy or Castagna, but hey, I'll give you Castagna. Moving in the midfield, no question about it, Partey. Put Thomas Partey in, but who are the other two? Odegaard, Maddison, and Tielemans? What are you saying? All Arsenal midfield, basically.
I would say Maddison has to get in. I know, again, there seems to be this weird obsession, and I think this is social media, that you can't like Odegaard and Maddison, and I don't understand this at all, because both are brilliant players in their own right. But to get 30 goals and assists in a Leicester team that was absolutely dog last year, do you know what I mean? Like,
well, what about this midfield? Partey, Odegaard, and Tielemans midfield. I think that's a good midfield.
Yeah, but I would have Maddison over.
People saying take Fofana out. He's a Chelsea player. Is he a Chelsea player yet?
We're still waiting for a bid that's over 70 million.
Okay.
You look like you'll be getting Christensen back. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Lewis in the house, Carefree Lewis. Shout out to Carefree Lewis every time. People saying Madison over Odegaard. Really? Okay, is it Madison or Odegaard? What are we saying? Because I'm putting Odegaard on that. Yeah, I'm saying Odegaard currently is a better overall player than Madison. Madison just scores goals.
That to me screams of someone who doesn't watch Madison, because his defensive contribution is outstanding as well.
So do you want to do Partey, Madison, and Odegaard, or do you want to add some balance and put Tielemans in there? Because Tielemans is basically an Arsenal player also.
I heard the same thing about Vardy, Mahrez, Kante, and Madison. So
yeah, you're right.
Here we are, though. Here we are. I'm sorry. Like if let's put this the other way around. If Madison had if Odegaard had 30 goals and assists in a team that had finished 8th and was struggling all season, whilst being half the time pushed out on the right wing with still brilliant defensive contributions, you would be screaming for Odegaard, wouldn't you?
Okay, people in the chat, let me know. Are we going to put Odegaard or are we going to put Madison? Or are we going to put both and just take Tielemans out? What do you think?
I'm happy to take Tielemans out.
Okay, so Odegaard.
We do this in another year, Dewsbury Hall will be in a shout for this.
Captain Odegaard. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall played amazing that first game. And then Madison. Is that how you spell his name, or is it 2 Ds?
I think it's 2 Ds. Man.
Okay, and then left wing. Who do you play on the left wing? Harvey Barnes?
Harvey Barnes, yeah. I was doing something quite interesting because I quite like Martinelli as well on the left-hand side. But
for Harvey Barnes?
Yeah. But I'm really split with this one, and I don't know what you think, because with Martinelli,
One second. Is Vardy starting up top, or is Gabriel Jesus on the wing? Because we could put Gabriel Jesus on the wing and Vardy up top.
Yeah, mate, our right wing options consist of Mark Albright and Iosi Perez, so knock yourself out.
No, Saka starting on the right. There's no question about that. I don't think, at least. There's no question about the Saka thing. But what about up top? Vardy or Jesus?
Vardy, it has to be Vardy. Vardy in 22 starts got 15 Premier League goals last year. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is proper underrated. Like, even now, like, what he's still achieving is ridiculous.
Okay, so what do you think about that team? Because I think this team wins the league.
I don't. I think it gets top 4, but it'll be entertaining as anything to watch. We'll score goals, that's sure.
I'm gonna save this team or put it on Twitter, ask people what they think about this combined 11. But this midfield doesn't have balance, so people are gonna probably take one of Madison or Odegaard out and try to put in a Tielemans or a Dewsbury Hall. But if it was up to me, I would take one of Madison and Odegaard out and put in Tielemans. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would to make more balance, but like it's more of a fact that I know you won't. You're not going to budge on Odegaard, and I'm not going to budge on Madison. So, but I agree with taking Tielemans.
Someone said Dewsbury Hall is a Poundland KDB. That is a big compliment. That is a big compliment.
I mean, it's like when people used to call what was it? What do they used to call him?
You know what? I would put Zinchenko over Tierney.
I don't know. I haven't watched enough of Zinchenko at Arsenal to make a fair assessment. So.
Okay, fair. We'll leave Kieran Tierney in there for now because we're both agreeing on it. People are saying injury prone. Who's injury prone? Kieran Tierney's injury prone.
I think that was over Ricardo,
but yeah. So that is the combined 11 portion of the show. What's going on with your team news and injuries and everything?
So the only major injuries we've got is Harvey Barnes and Ricardo Pereira, which are ironically 2 of our more important players. But apart from that, it's very much as we were against Brentford, really. Cienci will probably come in for Amati because Brendan Rodgers took absolute pelters for not starting Cienci in that opening game of the season. So, but apart from that, that's pretty much it. So it's nice to not have, like, we had it last year. I don't know if you remember when we played at the Emirates, we had an injury list about a mile long where it was easier to say which players weren't available than who was.
This is ours right now. So we have Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith Rowe out. You have Ricardo Pereira, Ryan Bertrand, if you forgot that he plays for you, and Harvey Barnes. That's what it says there, at least. So we'll have to wait and see who's actually available and fit. But yeah, that is what that says. And finally, just before we go into the team news, What is going on with Tielemans? Because I'm hearing reports that we might not even go in for him until next season. I'm hearing reports that we might go in for him now. I don't know what the hell's going on with Tielemans. People in the chat, let me know. Do you think we will actually get Tielemans at Arsenal, or is this just a whole thing for no reason? It's so frustrating, bro. Chat to me. What's going on with Tielemans?
It's we had this. I'm sure we had this conversation at the start of the transfer window, didn't we? I came on for a chat on your show, and I was like, I can see this already. This is going to drag out and drag out and drag out. But I don't think, and I mean this because I do like Arsenal and stuff. But if you do wait for him till next year, I don't think he ends up at Arsenal if he goes as a free agent. If I'm completely honest, I think he'll have a lot more options then of clubs that are competing for the major honours. And like, as much as you're starting to head back in the right direction, you're still quite a way away from like competing for those top trophies away again. But it's so strange because by the start of the transfer window, you had people like Fabrizio Romano, Rob Tanner, Rob Dorset all saying it was a priority for Arsenal. You're really going to push for him. Then Fabrizio Romano's massively backtracked, saying he wouldn't be surprised if he signed a contract after the transfer window with Leicester. Rob Dorset saying similar things. So it's like, it's
all over.
like, it's absolute mess, mate. Like you say, it's all over the place. And my thing is, and I've stood by this for the longest time, I want Tielemans to go rather than sign a 1-year contract, because we're in exactly the same situation next year. If he signs a 1-year contract, it doesn't help us. And I love Tielemans as a player. He's been one of my favourite players over the last few years. But I'd rather us sell him, be able to bring in someone like Koku or Beauregard, for two players that we've been heavily linked to replace him.
Koku is one of the best midfielders in world football. You know that Trent Alexander cross? You know that cross from distance that just gets into dangerous areas. That's what he does best. Yeah. And if you bring him in, that's going to be a really good player for you guys, especially with Jamie Vardy and everyone in the box like poachers.
Yeah, that's it. But do you know what I mean? Whilst this is dragging on longer and longer, it makes it so much harder to bring in any of these players. And then if we're also not a club that can afford to see £30 million walk out the door for nothing. Because like, we compete well, we spend money well, and we invest well, but we don't have that financial.
Just to give you an update, Nottingham Forest have bid for Aouar. You guys might be screwed.
It's been rejected.
Oh, it's been rejected. Okay, yeah.
I
was like, what the hell's going on? Aouar to? I'm like, what? Aouar to Nottingham Forest? This world, we're living in a mad world, people. We're living in a mad world.
Oh, I hope that lot goes straight back down, I'll be honest. But anyway,
they're your rivals, right?
Yeah. But the thing with this is it's dragging out, and it's like, as I say, I don't think it helps you guys if you wait for him next year, because there will be much better. I don't want to say better clubs, but do you know what I mean? Like clubs that are much further on in terms of competing for the major honours that will come in for him. And it doesn't help us because we're losing out on these targets about in terms of if he doesn't go this window, we won't get Koku. It looks like Beauregard will renew if he doesn't come to Leicester this transfer window. So it's like either sign a long-term deal, which is very, very unlikely, or go. Like, an extension doesn't really help us over 1 year.
No, I hear that. But let's now get into a little bit of the game. Just before we get into more of the Arsenal transfer news, shout out to everyone in the comment section. We're gonna save some of your comments. I can see some of your comments talking about transfers. What the hell's going on with Ryan Bertrand, by the way? People want to know.
We signed him. He was completely finished when we signed him. He's been injured for a year and a half. Absolute waste of money.
Okay. How the hell is Partey getting over Ndidi? Man, hasn't had half a good season yet. What do you think about that? Would you take Ndidi over Partey? Besides the whole person thing, just
purely as a football thing,
yeah.
I think it's a strange comparison because Thomas Partey isn't a 6, and like they're two completely different players, so it's a very strange comparison. And Ndidi is one of those players, you know, like I call him like a fire extinguisher. He just puts out fires, but in terms of like his actual on the ball play and all of that side of it, Partey's a level above him. But in terms of a pure defensive output, and like very few players get close to him. But they're just two very different players. But I'll probably say Partey over him. But he's been so injured for the last year. I don't know if he returns to the levels he was before or not.
Okay. Somebody asked about relegation. Are you worried about that?
Not at all. Like this is what I meant at the start. You know, when I said that the media get like proper carried away with stuff. Like everyone last year was banging on about how good a season West Ham had, and how awful of a season Leicester had. We finished three points behind them with half our squad injured. Like that's why it makes me laugh when people are saying like, "Oh, you're going to get relegated. You're really going to struggle this year." Like we've got pretty much our whole squad back, and we don't have a European campaign, which it's frustrating because European football was class last year. But you guys saw last year how much it benefited you only playing one game a week. It really allowed you to rest and play a lot stronger in the league. From February onwards, us in the league, we practically played a different team than we did in the Conference League, and the priority was for Conference League, not in terms of the Premier League was pretty much binned off in February for us.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that completely. So yeah, let's get straight into it, bro. Premier League predictions for this game week. I'm not gonna lie. You're not gonna like what I have to say. What about we're gonna get onto this. Don't worry, we're gonna get onto transfers once we're done with Ant. And this is the final segment of the show. Before we do anything, guys, Ant's link to his channel is in the description of the title. Click on it, give him a subscription. Really helps everyone else grow. And if we can grow the community, it helps everybody grow. And don't forget to hit that like button on this video right now while you guys are here. But before we get into Arsenal transfers, because we will still speak about Arsenal transfers, tell me, what is your score predictions, everyone, in the comment section? What do you think is going to happen in this game? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to be the big factors? For me, Leicester, are you guys still bad at set pieces? Because I think our team is probably one of the best teams at set pieces and scoring goals from set pieces. Our opening goal in the season was a set piece. Defensively, one of the best teams defending against set pieces. And at home, we are a dangerous outfit. I think this scoreline could be an embarrassing scoreline for Leicester. We could beat you guys maybe 3-5-0 because we're at home. The atmosphere at the Emirates is outstanding. Everyone is loving life right now at Arsenal. And I think Arsenal Football Club could make a statement out of this game at home against Leicester and show everyone that we mean business. Gabriel Jesus could get on the score sheet. Saka could get on the score sheet. You might even get goals from some of the midfielders. You'll see one of our defenders score from a set piece. I really believe this game has goals written all over it and a clean sheet for Arsenal. So when I'm saying goals, I mean it's going to be very one-sided. And I think this could be a very sad affair for you guys on the end. And I'm not even trying to I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything. I just genuinely believe that this Leicester team, you guys are going through a lot of trouble. You just drew against Brentford. You have a new goalkeeper. You have a midfield that is quite settled with Tielemans, Ndidi, Maddison, and Shrewsbury Hall, which I respect. But I feel like the way that you guys play with three at the back, it's going to be suited to us perfectly. We're going to have isolations on all our players, and unless Ndidi is playing almost like a default another defender, and your wingers are staying back, and you're almost set up as a 5, and you're using a low block, I don't see you guys keeping a clean sheet in this game at all. I think we're going to win this game quite convincingly. And I just feel like Gabriel Jesus is going to show everybody he means business. If you don't have him in your fantasy team as a Leicester fan, you should, because he's going to score.
I quite enjoy hearing these kind of things because it brings me back to the Liverpool game, just before Christmas, when I heard from all the Scousers, we're going to get battered 6-0 all of that. And then we turn them over at home. But I think the Emirates has never been a happy hunting ground for Leicester, even when you guys were absolutely dog and we were going through a really good phase. We've still never travelled well to the Emirates, but I'm hoping we can go there and get a 2-2 draw. I'll be honest, as I keep saying, talking about set pieces, our first goal last week came from a corner, which for us is completely foreign, and we didn't look vulnerable every time the ball came into the box. Big part of that was Danny Ward commanding his area a lot better than Schmeichel does. But for us, I think I've always said this about Leicester, and this isn't just about Arsenal. We perform the best when there's absolutely no pressure on us. Because going to the Emirates, everyone expects you guys to win. all the pressure's on Arsenal, and for us, I hate the expression, but it's a bit of a free hit, if you know what I mean, because we're in a
Free hit FC.
I know I hate the expression, but you know what I mean, like, because we're in a bit of a transition period at the moment.
Vardy always comes up.
Yeah, I expect us to go into a bit of a, like, I know the formation on paper will say 3 at the back, but we'll go into a 5 at the back where Ndidi also drops into the back line as well, and like we'll have. Like, it'll be very similar to when we played you last year in terms of we'll have large periods of the ball, but a lot of that will be possession around our defence. Because I think the big thing for us is what Palace allowed too much for was they allowed you too much time on the ball. I don't think we'll do that. I think we'll be a bit more aggressive than Palace were. So for me, I'm going to go 2-2 because if you can't have hope heading into a game, then we might as well pack it all in now.
There you go. And big up, Ans, for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to tell the people before we go? Are you going to be doing a match day vlog, by the way? You're going to the game.
Yeah. So this year, home and away match day vlogs back again on my channel, daily live stream. So make sure to check it out. And I'm sure I'll have you on at some point when we play Arsenal again later on in the year.
100%. You have yourself a wonderful day, and thanks for coming on. Really do appreciate it. My guy, big up to him for coming on, guys. Now we're going to do the transfer portion of the video. Big up, Ants, for coming on. Really do appreciate it, my guy. Thank you for coming on. Next, let's move on to the Arsenal transfer news. What is there to speak about, people? What is there to speak about? Because I've been looking around, and I've been seeing a lot of outgoings, and it's making me happy. It's making me happy. The Gunners are doing some business, people. We're getting some work done behind the scenes. We're doing what we have to do. Look at this. So first, you got the Yeremy Pino news. There is some news about Yeremy Pino, and there's a lot of transfer stuff about him. But we're not going to get into this too much yet. Let's first look at some of the other stuff going on. So with Arsenal, you have a lot of outgoing rumors. Where is it? So there's a rumor that AC Milan could be in for Lokonga. Yes, AC Milan could be in for Lokonga. Would you guys be interested in doing a swap deal for AC Milan's midfielder that we were also interested in the other day? We have Tonali. We're interested in him. He's 22 years old. He can play as a DM. He can do similar to what Lokonga does, but of course, Lokonga is the younger, raw product. I don't know if you guys are willing to do a swap deal at this moment in time. We'll have to see. I don't believe that this is going to be something that actually takes place, but it is a rumor, and the source, quite credible source. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens from there. Also, All or Nothing is going to be out tonight, guys. And looks like Mikel Arteta used Ivan Toney's tweet to try to cheer up and get these guys ready to go for that game. That is a big thing. People saying they subscribe to Ant's channel. Big up to you for that. People are saying no. Lokonga for Tonali, yes. Some people are saying no. Some people are saying hell no. All or Nothing tonight. Are you guys excited? About 1 o'clock tonight, we're going to get another episode of All or Nothing. In other news, good news. Runnerson is off to Turkey on a permanent deal in the coming days. I love to see it. Runnerson is on his way out of the club, ladies and gentlemen. Runnerson will be sold very, very soon. This is great news. I love to see it. We're getting some players out of the way. We're bringing in some money. Let's go. Bring me the money. That's what we need. If we can get even a penny, I'll take it. Hector Bellerin, if you don't know, Hector Bellerin is about to terminate his contract to go to Betis on a free. He will be terminating his contract very, very soon. And this is a good thing for Arsenal. Hector Bellerin is on his way out. And guess who's on their way in? William Saliba, new contract, number 2 of the club. He'll be signing that new deal and get French football. Noise it, get French football. Shoosh. Get French football was on our case, saying that we weren't going to get the deal done. We weren't going to get it done. Guess what? It looks like we are getting it done. Also, Arsenal expecting to loan out Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Reece Nelson. This is another thing. We have so many players leaving. This is great. You got Runnerson. You got Pablo Mari, Lucas Torreira, Hector Bellerin, Reece Nelson, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. This is great news, people. I am loving this right now. Get those players out of here and let's bring in some solid players. I'm loving life right now. This is a good start to the season, ladies and gentlemen. We won our first game. We're hearing players are leaving the club, and we are going to be. Saliba has been top class, yes, and we will be giving him a new deal. We will be giving him a new deal. And whoever survives this Arsenal exodus, they are going to have to be top quality in order to survive. Pablo Mari is another player who's going to be leaving the club. Guys, this is great news. We just keep getting players out the door. And in the meanwhile, we have to start looking at incomings. We have to start looking at incomings. That's where these kind of signings potentially come out of nowhere. This is where the Pino news comes into play. This is where I start to get a little bit more excited than I already am. This is where I look at these signings and I say to myself, I wonder what they have planned. But could this be the mystery winger? He's 19 years old, Pino. He's the same guy who scored 4 goals coming off the bench for Villarreal in a league game. This is a guy who I potentially could see Arsenal going for as an option, but he would be a cheaper option, but at the same time, it will cost us a pretty penny. 33 million. They're quoting him. 33 million for Pino. 33 million. That's what they're saying. 33 million for Pino, guys. 33 million. And Goal Spain saying Arsenal are interested in Pino, but there has been no offer yet. There has yet to be an offer, but it's around 33 million. That's what they're saying. Would you guys take Pino at Arsenal? Let me know. Would you take him? Would you take him right now? Let me know what you guys think. I personally don't know enough about him. I only seen that one game that he played where he scored the 4 goals, and wow, was beautiful in that game. He's very tricky. He's he's a very young player, very still much raw. Could he be better than Martinelli and Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka right now? Possibly not. But at the same time, he improves us because he gives us more squad depth. It gives us more options. Could he be a rotation player for Saka? What will he be if he comes to Arsenal? We're going to have to find out. But are you willing to make that investment to find out? Or do you think we need to go for somebody more proven? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Some people saying, I have watched his highlights on Pino. His dribbling is sloppy. Interesting. Good backup for them, maybe. Good backup. Do we want backups, or do we want people who are going to push the first team? Do we want people who are going to push into that first team and are ready and the caliber to play in that first team? He's a baller only if we don't get Diaby. I personally prefer Diaby. I think Diaby is the better player out of all the other wingers that we're being linked to at this moment in time. I want Diaby. I agree with Dan here. I personally want Diaby. I think Diaby is the better player. I think Diaby is the better player, and he is the better option right now that we should go for, right? But there's a lot of rumors. Let's just see what it says. No offer has been submitted for Pino. Villarreal are asking between 40 to 50 million euros. 40 to 50 million euros. Wow. Villarreal believe they sat in negotiations, and the amount around 45, which is around 38 million euros, is what they're expected to come in the coming days. No offer yet official for that player. Interesting. Now, moving on. Arsenal have had a bid rejected. Who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy to reject our bid? Has anyone even heard of Nikola Milenkovic? He's a center back. He plays for as you guys can see, Florentino, Lucas Torreira, and Dusan Vlahovic's former team. He's a Serbian international, as you guys can tell with that last name of his, with the Vic, of course. He's 24 years old. He was a big part of the Serie A's team that got them into Europe. He's a center back, primarily plays in center back, of course, but he can play on both the right and the left center back. He's right-footed. Could this be a Rob Holding replacement? Could this be a Rob Holding replacement? Could this mean the end of Rob Holding at Arsenal? What could this mean? Because this is the first I've heard of him. And then here's some more news about the guy. So Arsenal, a few hours ago, have made a £12.5 million bid for Fiorentina center back Nikola Milenkovic. That was my best try. But the player said he to have declined the move as he wants to stay with the Italian side. So they're saying he rejected Arsenal. Who is this guy to reject Arsenal? I don't know. I don't know how good he is. I don't know how well he plays. All I know is he's a center back. He's right-footed. He's Serbian. He's also a Serbian international, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is a Serbian international. But yeah, let me know, guys. What do you guys think? This guy has played 37 games for Serbia. Last season he played about 38 games, I think, all comps. 34 games all comps. Who is he to reject Arsenal? I don't know, but it looks like we're going after center backs. Right? Gio in the house. Igal, Tonali is 100 times better than Sambi. Milan ain't doing no swap deal. Tonali is integral to our system. I hear you, Gio. But tell me about Tonali. Do you think you guys would move Tonali? Because we are linked to him. We are linked to Tonali, people. Don't let these reports fool you. We are still linked to Tonali, and it could potentially happen. As much as you don't want to believe that it could happen, it could still happen because Tonali is and will be a player that AC Milan look at and say, you know what, maybe we want to sell, maybe we don't. I don't know, but I put this tweet out, and that's what he's speaking about. Because potentially, if AC Milan want Sambi Lokonga, and we want Tonali, who says no? Who says no to a swap deal? Who says no to a swap deal for Sambi Lokonga and Tonali? Let me know. Who says no? And also, what do we know about Tonali? Tonali plays DM. Tonali is also 22 years old. Tonali is Italian. He was an integral part to that AC Milan side that won the league. And if we get Tonali, what could we do with him? Could he be the Partey replacement? Would we sign a player to be a Partey replacement, or would we sign the player to be a starter to overtake Xhaka? What is it? And if we get Tonali, does that mean no to Tielemans? There's so many factors that we need to discuss. It's crazy. But yeah, that is what's going on there. I agree. Will Arsenal sign Pino? I don't believe they will. I don't know. At this moment in time, Arsenal is very unpredictable. We are very, very unpredictable, my friends. Very unpredictable club. We don't know what's going on half the time. Sometimes they make shock moves. Sometimes the club just makes shock moves out of nowhere. Out of absolutely nowhere, you'll just see something like out of nowhere. Just like today. Today we seen something that was very shocking. Something that made no sense. Something that I don't even understand how people get these information. Partey plays as an 8, Tonali as a DM. Okay. Keep Lokonga. Nah. Igal. Tonali is a baller, a better all-around midfielder than we've got. Interesting. I think Thomas Partey is a good all-around midfielder. I don't know about you guys. Maybe attacking-wise, he's not that good. So maybe you're right. Tonali doesn't want to play in the EPA according to himself. Interesting. He's not up for the challenge. Is that so? Tonali's not up for the challenge. I see how it is. But yo, guys, there's some breaking news. Who is that? Is that Edu? People, is that Edu at an airport sitting down with somebody? Who is that? That is Edu. Today was spotted in having a meeting with the agent of PAU Torres in Valencia. Arsenal are still looking to strengthen the left side of the defense after the departure of Pablo Mari. Could it mean that Arsenal could be bringing in? Could it mean that Edu is meeting with Pablo Mari's agent, meaning that we could be signing Pablo Torres? Could this be true, people? Could this be true? Could this actually be happening? I don't believe my eyes. We're strengthening the midfield, the defense, the attack. We're acting like a big club. I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. Could we get Pablo Torres? Would you guys want Pablo Torres? Look, imagine we bring in Pablo Torres as a Gabriel not a replacement, as a backup. As a backup. I can't believe my eyes, people. My club is acting like a big club, and I love it. I love it. We're doing big moves. We're going to do big moves this summer. And we're not done. We're not done. Arsenal's still looking for a midfielder. Arsenal's still looking for defensive strengths. Arsenal's still looking for a winger. We looking at solving maybe 3 more key areas. And if we can get 4, who's to say we don't challenge? Okay, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. But honestly, if Arsenal are this serious and we're addressing a majority of the key areas where we need to fix our team, who's to say we don't do some madness by the end of the window and we get a Pablo Torres, we get a winger, we get a midfielder like Tielemans, we get some. I'm beside myself. It doesn't seem like we're going to get right back cover. It doesn't seem like we're going to do that. But hey, maybe Ben White can cover DM and maybe Cedric can cover the right back. I mean, yeah, possibly. Arsenal want either Moussa Diaby or Pedro Neto. I don't want nothing to do with Marco Asensio. His legs are gone. He's not the same player. He's been injured too many times, and he's besides himself over there at Real Madrid. I don't think he's that good of a player anymore, personally. Personally, that's just up to me. Probably just bumped into him in the airport on his way to the beach, to a beach Barbie. You know, the man's married, man. Come on, smart cookie. What's cooking? Mr. Bongo in the building. Big up, Mr. Bongo. Shout out Mr. Bongo 10 times over. That's a day one from the channel. You already know what it is, Mr. Bongo. But yeah, people, we're going to wrap it up here. Right? We're going to wrap it up here. But just to let you guys know, I'm going for a high-scoring game for versus Leicester. We're going to win that game probably 4 or 5-0, potentially 4 or 5-0, right? Smash that like button, people, while you're here. Big up for all the support. Really do appreciate it. You guys have been supporting the channel dramatically over this whole time throughout the transfer window. And tomorrow, I am going to have a special guest tomorrow. Special guest tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm going to have the special guest, but I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to have a special guest tomorrow. And you guys might not be ready for who the special guest is, but I'm going to have a very, very, very special guest tomorrow. And also tomorrow, we're going to be doing the All or Nothing reaction video is going to be coming out in the morning once I watch the All or Nothing. But tomorrow, the special guest is none other than, the special guest for tomorrow's video, people. You guys are here to find out first. Who the special guest is tomorrow. Yep, we got a big guest tomorrow. All we know is Football London's very own Kia Kayanak. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a good video. Stay tuned for that tomorrow. And if you haven't already watched it, the second episode of the Invincible 5 came out yesterday on EGTV. Go check that out. And the day before that, we did a specific video where we spoke about Pedro Neto, Tielemans, and everything else. But yeah, stay tuned on EGTV. We got a lot of content coming for you guys. In addition to the All or Nothing Arsenal Iga, narrated by myself, Iga. But yeah, stay tuned for everything, people. You guys already know what it is. And I'm going to be on Husam's channel Friday. I'm also going to be on the Joe Show Friday. And Vibes from the 6 is going to be back Thursday. But yeah, stay tuned. Big things coming on the channel for the next couple of days. Don't miss it. Here we go. Netflix, here we go. Big up. You already know how it is, people. And we're out of here. Respect.